That's what I'm going to be seeing here. Let's go first. Let's go. Just go now. Well, we got that 9 of Pentacles in reversed here to start things off. I think collectively wise, especially when it comes to love right now, people might feel uncertain about where to go, right? That 9 of Pentacles is always so sure. Of course, people always like to look at that as the single card. So maybe people aren't wanting to be single too. But there's conflict. So I feel like there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and you're going to have to confront them. But I don't think that's something to be afraid of here. Challenge-wise, just in the overall energies that we're seeing here to what the situation is, I'm feeling like we're not wanting to be stuck, but we're having difficulties feeling like, how do we move things to the next place in our life? Now, our intuition's guiding us in a really good way, but also it kind of still feels like a little bit like we don't know what's on the other side. And I think that really what that end goal right now is everybody's really wanting to find that place we call home. But we're going to have to go through the difficulties. So what's the spiritual advice that we got here? Yeah, I think that we're going to have to, wow. Okay. You know what? I'm feeling like, number one, we're going to have to be positive. We can't be afraid of actually just speaking our truth. We don't want to, the more real that we can be right now, especially communication wise, and it's okay that we can be honest with ourselves. We don't know exactly where it's going to go, but we can have conversations that need to be, had. And we need to have a much more positive attitude about things. I think if we're trying to take things too serious, it's not going to work. As far as well, I think the hard part too is that, I think the spiritual advice here is don't be afraid to let every emotion out. I think that if you try and be too showy or, I don't want somebody to know how I feel about this because I don't want to ruin things. If anything, it might make things stronger. I feel like this is definitely getting rid of a lot of the red tape we put up and just only show the yellow tape. I'm feeling like we definitely have some problems when it comes to staying positive about things. And right now maybe feeling like it's too much or it's too intense, or I don't know how I want to go about things. But if you just go I think that this is really where you get cutting down the line. Hey, where's this at? Are we doing this, or is this going to be changing the relationship, or is this not? But I feel like we're all in a place right now as a collective that doesn't want to have to deal with maybe that there's things that are coming in between. What are some of those things here? Oh, Six of Cups reversed. I'm feeling like we're definitely in a weird space because it's you can't just keep going back to memory. You just can't keep going back to the past and what's happened and trying to relive your past again, whether that's the bad past and you think that's going to come, or the good past and trying to look for, what were the signs? Because everything to this point has changed. I think that, this is about, I haven't got any cards coming up about getting over fear. If anything, it's people being putting on a show, really afraid to show their very deep desires of very basic, fundamental, loving things. I want to feel safe and have a place that I can call home emotionally with somebody. I want it to be light and fun energy, but also where I'm not feeling stuck, where I don't know where things are going. I have deep emotions of I really want to be with you, or I don't want to be with you, and not being afraid to say these things out. So what's the outcome that we got here? 4 of Pentacles reversed, 4 of Wands reversed. That's kind of interesting here. I feel like people are definitely ready to get rid of the way that they expect. Expectations right now are going to be your worst mistake, because we have to drop a lot of the ways and let things in without expectation in order to get to the big party. You need it, or even, right? 4 of Wands could be everything from the celebration of you wanting to move from dating to a relationship, or from a relationship to marriage, or finally going single, from getting out of the crappy situation. And I think that, when we try to keep things, I feel like relationships always have that work to do to keep things in order, but I feel like this is definitely a week where it's are you just keeping things again in a place where I feel like you can get dizzy with the 2 of Pentacles, because it's seasickness to switching gear. It feels like we are switching, but I feel like it almost is when you keep analyzing from a physical sense of what will my life be like if this it's always being behind instead of in the reality. And I think that that's what needs to come out now. Outcome this week too, that's weird. 7 of Wands reversed. There's definitely it's be very clear on where you don't want to be. It's going to be very clear from people where they don't want to be. You know, and you can't be afraid to be like, you know, do you want to go to the top of the mountain with me? You want to get to the better spot? Not really. Or let me get back to you. Then walk away. Wow. 5 Pentacles. You got to have tough skin. You're going to have tough skin to get to the good shit right now in life. You know why? Because you're going to have to deal with, hey, some people might not want to be with you. Some people might, you know, some people might not want to be with you. I'm just giving you that. I feel like people are in like a place where like it's such a crazy world right now that it's like, you know, you want to be with people that like see you for who you are, but you know what? If you're going to play like you're a victim or how dare you, again, that plays into the expectation game thing. I think that everybody's just trying to find their happiest thing. And like, this is a big collective moment, I feel, especially about those kind of things and like learning how for us all to be a collective. And, you know, if you're trying to find something out about your partner or a person, the advice is King of Pentacles, have your self-worth and value there. But more importantly, don't be afraid. Know your value and your worth. And if they like it, they'll see it. If they don't, they don't. And if you're trying to build something with somebody and they don't want to build something, then walk away. If you're having trouble and you're thinking about somebody from your past that you're trying to reconnect with, nope, don't do it. 8 of Swords. I feel like that person, honestly, they can't even see you because they're in something else, and that's probably what's frustrating you, and you're overthinking it anyways, and it's wasting your own time and energy. Yeah, and they don't want to build anything with you anyway. So if you're trying to you're trying to get back with somebody from the past, you're an idiot. Like, we're talking about like somebody that you guys were together, broke up with, like an ex, like somebody that's been like your marriage or ex, like, you know. I get it. We all date people and then they come back. That's not the same thing. This is like you're trying to have something that really went through a major breakdown and break up and hoping for that to come back. Definitely that's a no. And then the one oracle that I'm going to pick actually is I do feel like picking this week because of the magical energy that we're in. I feel like being in Camelot. So, you know, every week I'm going to pick just a different oracle to finish things off with. Wow. And we did get Morgan Le Fay, which she is all about fate. So there's definitely feels like the fated energies of like getting to the point. But I'm also seeing that there's that magic and it's prophecy too. We did get that High Priestess and I didn't touch on that maybe enough. Like I felt like, you know, it's like we don't know what's on the other side. Well, we could feel what's fated and what's not. We have to go with our intuition and the fate and actually do it. There's that magician within us that's much more than just the magician card. There's that magician that's truly connected. And I feel like we all know the place and the most real we can be and the most exposing we can be and get to the point of things instead of running around and not getting to the point and having arguments where nobody's getting to the point and everybody's suppressing their emotions with that moon card reversed and that that High Priestess upright. Like that's just like putting a smoke show on of like what's really going on. Like stop holding yourself back from being like, I'm not happy about this, or I really want this, or I really like this. And then you get the answers, and it's not so hard. Astro dice for this week are first house, Leo. Sun, first house, Leo. Go for the love that you want, and if it wants to, it wants to. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because that will get you to the point to what attracts what you want too. So this is definitely about not having fear and having the confidence to go for the love that you want in your life. Back to you.
Yeah, straight up. This is a really like changing the slide of confidence and self-worth for everybody. So like the more you can put yourself on a high level, on a high pedestal and like know you got it, whether it's love or anything in life right now, you're gonna do better. But you also have to like have an imagination about it and you have to like change your belief about things. If you believe that you'll never have the relationship you want, you're not gonna get it. This is the time where you have to like know you're worth it. And that's where it's a big deal with Taurus. And that's where it's a big deal getting a solar eclipse. And the dispositor of the North Node and the solar eclipse is Venus, and it's with Jupiter and Neptune exalted in Pisces. So like you have to consciously be able to shift your beliefs right now to know you're worth the life you want and attract it in and to actually do the things that you're feeling called to do to get it. So I think it's a really big week of like not getting too caught up. Mercury's going to go into shadow. Like our mind can definitely like have us go too inwardly or like judge ourselves. And there is sort of this like judgment energy in life right now. It's not about judging. It's about compassion. It's about love. Move in the direction of love that is valuable to you. And things are going to be better. You're going to start to see more come to fruition for you. So it's a big week. And I think that reading was great. And you really want to focus in on your belief about yourself right now and the life you can create. That's where things are going to blossom. That's where things are going to grow. And you have to get out of any like tripping on the bad shit. And that's where we're at with this Pluto retrograde. And that's where we're at with Saturn square the nodes, still with the South Node in Scorpio. Like it's really time to let go of negative shit that you don't want to hold on to anymore so that you can make room for the really, really good things. And that starts with your belief right now. So have your belief be expansive about the best things, and they will be attracted to you. And you'll naturally do the thing to get that because you have the confidence and the self-worth to do it.
Booyah. I agree with you on that. And I think especially with all this Taurus, you got to know your value and your self-worth. And then, you know, find people who have the values that are the same with you. That's the Uranus rocket ship. Like finding that common values that, you know, when you're trying to date somebody or you want to stay in a relationship with somebody and your values aren't the same, of course we can differ on some things, but this is looking for things where it's like, you know, all systems are pretty much go here. You know, not every two pilots that go up in a spaceship might have the same values, but they have the same value of wanting to go to the same destination, have the same values of wanting to be, you know, astronauts, having the same values of taking care of the ship. I mean, like, you know, like when you're trying to deal with somebody right now and it's like, you know, that'd be like me trying to be like somebody who's like, I don't like that you do astrology. It's like, well, fuck you. Have fun. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, you need to look at that, and you need to look at, like, you know, if you're trying to date a dude and he's fucking a drug dealer and you don't like to be around that energy and those kind of people, like, are you fucking a dumb? Like,
Yes.
come on. Like, I know it sounds so simple, but believe it or not, Taurus is very simple.
Extremely simple.
It's extremely simple. I know it might feel complicated with Uranus, but it's more about finding the same connections like I just showed you with an asteroid.